Time flies, and it's 25 years ago since the Boxster finds its first customer. In the 19th, Porsche was in deep financial problem. The 944 968, together with this spectacular 928, drained Porsche during this period. I can actually understand why, because the 928 still feel modern with today's measurement. At that time, Porsche sold 15,000 vehicles and they needed 40,000. It was a true crisis financially. To survive, Porsche needed to do a cost reduction of 30%. Their transaxle area went down to the grave, and Porsche then needed a new platform to make sure that they can share components between the different models. And in 1993, the prototype was showed in Detroit Motor Show.
Embrace the 550 design studio and try to catch the extreme design excellence made over 25 years ago and still makes sense in the Detroit Motor Show.
This is what happens when you become a father. You press your scales, becomes toys, and things start to fall off. But it was not until things started to fall off from the Boxster, things really get back 25 years on where the Boxster model really took its start. Well, from the beginning, Porsche wanted to fit 4-cylinder in the Boxster, to make a tribute to the transaxle area and the designers of the vehicle looking back to the 550. They asked Audi for a quote, but for the price they gave them, they could develop their own engine. And you have to remember where Porsche was in this stage, struggling for their life. They wanted to make an impact on the market, and all the other roadsters on the market at the time being, well, they didn't have a 6-cylinder engine, and therefore they decided to develop their own water-cooled flat six engine with delivering 204 horsepower. But this car, the tribute, should have gone through the designer's wishes and fitted the 2.5 litre GTS engine, and instead, basically we're left with a 4.0 engine. The 4-cylinder displacement fits the Boxster much better. We all know that. Today, looking back at the history and the heritage of the Boxster, paying a tribute to the 550 Spider. When I reviewed the GTS 4.0, this was the tool I used. And every word of it is still valid and are applicable to the Boxster 25. Since the engine is a bit stressful, well, I've said it in the GTS 4.0 review, and you can look at that to get all my opinions, but the PDK really brings something to the table at this point. You don't want to stress this engine, and you don't want to be that intense drive. No. But these PDK gearbox really helps you to put this into a proper roadster. Remember the name Boxster, it comes from the Boxster engine and the name Roadster. And then just take your cruise control, adaptive cruise control that you should fit on this. Remember, just add options to this. This is one of these cars that you really can build up some cozy luxury feeling inside of it and have a pleasant drive. And that's how you should. And the PDK gearbox helps to contribute to be a more relaxed, comfortable ride. The 7-speed PDK gearbox, the old one, is a highlight for me these days. I've been driving my 992 Caress until I sold it, and it's like a sewing machine. It's just accelerate, right? With the old one, you actually are more connected towards the automatic changes, which means that you actually feel every change it makes. And especially when you put it in manual going down and up, I like it. And a couple of weeks ago, I drove the 992 GT3, and the feeling of the changes are pretty much the same, even though we're going down. I'm not sure if it is down, but to the Boxster 25. I love it. This reminds me that an automatic gearbox actually could be a little bit amusing anyway, even though everybody knows that I prefer the manual gearbox. This is XYA special design gear lever, but I would do a different thing these days. Remember, 992 GT3, same gearbox. Go into your nearest Porsche center and say that you would like to buy the parts to have that beautiful kind of manual feel looking like gear lever. Well, flat six always put a smile on my face, but I never had any problem with that 4-cylinder sound. I really miss that, and just the other day I got the opportunity to drive a 4-cylinder Cayman, and I was like, yes, finally. I'm so sad that they removed the GTS version. I would have liked to test that car even more. But here we are, and I cannot stress enough how comfortable the Boxster is. You should remember that in comparison to the 718 Spider, it's much less drag in this vehicle, and it really creates a perfect vacation drive. I mean, the Spider and the GT4, that's GT car performance, right? It's nothing you take your wife or mistress on a holiday or weekend. No, not at all. It's not comfortable at all. This is the car where you have the comfort seat, you have the luxury, you have everything that you need, and occasionally, if you want to stress your situation, you can throw down the gears and push it. And it's still a beautiful B-road car. Remember, all Porsches are perfect on B-roads, except for the 992 GT3, which scares the shit out of me on the B-roads. But this, ladies and gentlemen, it just puts a great joy. I just truly love when you can drive on B-roads and connect with your surrounding, especially with a convertible like this. I mean, I can understand James Dean and everybody, back in the days with the 550 and everything. They went on the road, they put a big smile on their face and have a tremendous experience. And that's what this car is all about, making sure that you drive with the top down, you make sure that you have the comfortable that you would like. But please remember one thing, when I say comfort, I don't include Bose or Brewmeister sound system, because the sound, it's still an open car, right? So it's a lot of wind noise, etc. You will just throw your money in the drain by adding those options. But except for that, just load this car. Just load it. And into the corner and push it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, now I felt the chassis, and it's not built for it. Remember, change the tires, make the differences that I already recommended. If you have a GTS 4.0 or a Boxster 25, have a look at the Öhlins Road and Track, which actually will improve the comfort level, but most important, it will tune in the car at the level where it deserves, and also have a look at wider tires as well. In general, I'm not a big fan of red interior, but certain cars, it really works. A white 911 Turbo is, one example. And remember, this car is all about the tribute of the design of the prototype car back in the 93, and it was red interior and all these silver details, and I love what they've done to this vehicle. This is a perfect example where you can throw a lot of option into it, and it makes sense, doesn't it? I really love what they have done to this vehicle, and the carpets are just a notch more exclusive what we are used to in the regular Boxsters. We have to remember when we look at the 986 that it was all about saving Porsche as a company. 1996 the Boxster was launched, and 1 year later the 911 996 was reaching the market, and they share the exact same front. And remember, I'm going to show you my spectacular model. The front lights has been questioned in its design perspective, but this was all about cost reduction. Today we have a headlamp, and then they have added the turn signal on a different place. But this was a one-fit equipment, which means that they only needed to fit one item to include everything that was needed. Neodym is the color that has been added to the Boxster 25. Please don't mix that up with the Aurum, because it has totally different appearance. This goes much more towards bronze rather than to the gold. We have it in the front, in the side air intake, and finally on the wheels, which I think are spectacular. It fits the cars perfectly, and it's a 100% tribute to the speedster wheels that we are used to see both on the 993 RS and on the prototype as well. But they have made a huge mistake. That's why I have the camera in this angle. The ET is totally wrong. It feels like the tires are in the middle of the car and we have over 1 centimeter to give more outwards. But these two wheels could be a collector's item. If I own this vehicle, I would most likely call HRE wheels and I will look at the C105 or from the vintage series 527 forged monoblock rims and purchase them. Give them a call, say that you would like the specification that Jankolind has on his Spider or Cayman T, and off you go. And very important, because this goes both to the front and the back, and as a result you will actually improve the handling of your vehicle. But I do miss Neodym on the logotypes in the back. Remember the prototype, it was in Neodym, and I wish Porsche has followed through in this. If you buy this car, make sure Porsche logo is in black and then remove the Boxster logo from the backs and paint it Neodym and retrofit it. Just remove this 25 silly thing. People understand that way. I really like this because, you know, it's an explorer car kind of. You know, we have B roads and then we have these narrow roads. It's nothing that you give any throttle whatsoever because two cars can hardly meet. But with this car, it's like, oh, it's so cozy. I can easily just explore the small roads and look at the beautiful countryside of Sweden. It is a true gentleman's car, this Boxster 25. Feels, you know, a bit privileged. It's a limited edition. It's, what can I say? It just brings joy. And as I've said, the PDK really helps out in this explorer mode, sort of, where you don't feel like pushing this car, right? Because, well, but you want the cruise, you want the roadster experience, which it was meant to be from the very beginning. And I love it. I truly love it. It gives you that dimension that you should have in an open-top car. The Boxster 25 is all about celebrating the design from the prototype. One example is this beautiful, beautiful matte black that frames the windows. And what it does, let me just move away from it. Look how the front window disappears. Look at it, beautiful. And left is the beautiful silhouette of the 550 Spider. Spectacular, if you ask me. And this is the reason why I am careful of coloring the roll bars. They need to be black to disappear together with the windscreen. Whew. If I still own my 718 Spider, I will definitely consider making matte black around the front window. Isn't it funny, as soon Porsche releases a special model like the 991.2 Turbo S Exclusive, or in this case the Boxster 25, the calipers turns black. By the way, have a look at the black windscreen again and how it disappears and makes that 550 Spider lines. Nevertheless, Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, if your car is not equipped with that, it is my recommendation that you fit these tires to increase the comfort level. So today I'm driving in 28 to 30 degrees. And for the very, very first time, please remember Sweden is generally quite cold. We have about 5 of these days in a year where it is 30 degrees and upwards. But this car is equipped with ventilated seats, and ooh, it's the first time. I'm really enjoying it. First of all, leather itself, it just makes you sweat, right? And especially in the summer. Sportex is something I much rather prefer. But with the ventilated, I have to fix it a bit more here. It has its meaning. I really love it. Ooh, and it's 18 ways as well, so even if you have the most broken back, even more broken than mine, then this is really a comfortable seat. Remember, don't even think about putting these seats in a GT car. It should actually be jail time for that, but in this car, excelente, magnifico, oh mamma mia. 1,250 units is going to be built of this vehicle. This is number 34. For a reason that I cannot explain, Porsche take a regular car from the production line, like the 911 Turbo, they throw some design option to it, and boom, they have what they call a limited edition. And in that case, it upholds its value much better. If you are in the market for a reason that I cannot understand for a 4.0 GTS, then I believe this is a wise choice because it will uphold its value much better. Nu gör vi ett test vart vi ska stå, det vart i skugga. Testing. This car is spectacular!